Hi, this is Christine from Tamar's Hope, and I wanted to come on and just do a quick video. So this is an up-to-date report on the initial findings from the International House of Prayer in Kansas City, and this is from today, November 15th, 2023. And I actually received this information from my own pastor from the International House of Prayer, Eastern Gate in New Jersey. So this is what he sent me and my husband earlier this morning, and I just wanted to come on and share this up to date, really up to the minute recent report on initial findings. So this is dated from November 15th, and this is on ihopkc.org, and it reads the introduction. 3 weeks ago, on October 24th, a group of men led by a local Kansas City pastor, the Complaint Group, officially presented IHOP-KC's executive leadership team, ELT, with a series of allegations against Mike Bickle, allegedly made by 8 women whom the complaint group claimed to represent. After 3 weeks of examination, IHOP-KC has identified 5 of the 8 alleged victims. 3 of those 5 have publicly called the allegations lies. A 4th has not wanted to communicate with IHOP-KC's attorneys, and the 5th's allegations relate to incidents that preceded IHOP-KC's founding. Further, it has become apparent that the complaint group did not have permission to include at least 4 of the women in their list of alleged victims. We remain committed to verifying the remaining allegations, but we need the complaint group to assist in our inquiry of the remaining alleged victims to ensure their veracity. There is much at stake in getting to the truth. Furthermore, like many of you, we were deeply troubled and distressed to learn of the multiple allegations against Mr. Bickle. The ELT took these allegations very seriously, and within 24 hours began the process of looking into the details, as well as asking Mr. Bickle to step away from public ministry in order to allow for a proper inquiry to be conducted. Within days, the ELT commenced consultation, and the ELT stands for Executive Leadership Team, for those of you who don't know. So within days, the ELT commenced consultation of outside legal experts on how to conduct a proper examination of the facts and how to best handle the situation. Significantly, at all times, the allegations were treated as if they were credible in order to care for any past or present victims, while objective due diligence was to be performed. However, upon review by outside legal counsel, it was determined that the collection and presentation of the allegations by the complaint group lacked any semblance of reliability or due process. Give me 1 second. And it continues on to say that the document prepared by the complaint group to accompany the presentation of the allegations on October 24th does not contain any actual evidence. No statements from the victims, whether sworn or unsworn, no emails, texts, or other exhibits between Mr. Bickle and the alleged victim to substantiate the allegations. Only blank squares acting as exhibit placeholders. Whatever that means. I'm not sure what that means. The complaint group's allegations were also presented along with a list of prepared demands to prevent escalating levels of disclosures. These demands and threats, which included dictating the use of IHOP Casey's funds, generated an atmosphere of concern regarding the true objectives of the complaint group. Initial findings. On the week of October 24th, the complaint group presented a list of 8 alleged victims to the IHOP Casey leadership team. The group did not and has not claimed that these women had ever previously made their allegations known to IHOP Casey prior to October 2023. However, it has become abundantly clear over the last 3 weeks that 4 of the women were presented as alleged victims without their consent. Some of the complaint group's allegations were presented in a document, and some of the allegations were presented orally in conversation. 3 women were identified by their initials in the document. An additional 5 anonymous Jane Does are listed in the document, but the complaint group would not share their names or any details about these allegations or how these women came to be represented by the complaint group. Then IHOP Casey was given the names of 2 additional women orally during the conversations that took place the week of October 24th. At that point, a total of 5 alleged victims had been identified by name. Alleged victim 1, unable to verify. According to the complaint group, the first named victims, named by her initials, alleges that Mr. Bickle emotionally pursued and prophetically manipulated her more than 25 years ago. The allegation contains only 6 short lines of text and is non-sexual. It contains no first-person statements by the alleged victim herself. IHOP KC has been made aware of evidence that suggests this woman was contacted by a member of the complaint group in early October in an attempt to recruit her to be part of the alleged victim group. It remains unclear if she gave permission for her name to be included as an alleged victim. Alleged victim number 2. Partial credibility established. The second and only detailed allegation is from 26 years ago, before IHOP KC was founded. The allegations include the physical contacts between Mr. Bickle and an adult woman. It is also insinuated that Mr. Bickle may have committed a crime. Wow. IHOP KC has not been able to determine whether this criminal allegation has any credibility. Nonetheless, in light of the detail provided, IHOP KC immediately asked Mr. Bickle to step away from his ministry at the church while the allegations was further investigated. And our attorney then reached out to this alleged victim by phone, and email on November 9th without success. Then on November 10th, we learned that the founder of Grace was the attorney representing her regarding these allegations. IHOP KC's attorney was able to make initial contact with this attorney on November 13th and 15th. So the ball is getting rolling here, it seems. Alleged victim number 3 refuted. A third alleged victim claim asserts that a woman, again named by her initials, was a victim of being pursued emotionally and quote-unquote prophetic manipulation from 2013 to 2018. On November 2nd, this woman issued a public statement that she was not a victim of Mr. Bickle. The woman also sent a letter to IHOP KC's attorney stating that the complaint group were quote-unquote bullies and that she never gave them permission to use her name. Alleged victim 4 refuted. On October 31st, a woman who was identified orally in a conversation by the leader of the complaint group to be a part of the alleged victim group issued a lengthy public statement that she was not a victim of Mr. Bickle. Her statement also detailed how she had been contacted by a member of the complaint group, quote unquote, who basically insinuated and assumed based on something that she said secondhand about me years ago that I was Mike's victim. She stated that she told them very clearly that she did not want to be contacted on this issue again and did not want to have anything to do with the accusations coming against Mr. Bickle. Alleged victim 5 refuted. On the same day, October 31st, another alleged victim released a public statement via her social media account refuting any claims that she had ever been sexually or spiritually abused by Mr. Bickle and that any claims to the contrary were lies. This woman had been named by the complaint group orally during the October 24th ELT meeting. Our attorney spoke with this woman 10 days after she released her statement, and she maintained her emphatic denial of any misconduct by Mr. Bickle toward her on any sexual involvement with him. Alleged victim 6 refuted. Then, on November 3rd, IHOP KC leadership received an email from a woman who heard that her name was being used as part of the allegations presented against Mr. Bickle. Her name did not come up on the October 21st ELT meeting, but she is the 6th woman whose name has emerged. She has approached IHOP KC's leadership team to let them know these rumors were not true. She expressed that she was hurt to find out that her name was being used as part of these allegations and wrote an email to the ELT emphatically denying that any form of abuse or any inappropriate relationship with Mr. Bickle has ever taken place. She is the 5th woman to refute that she is an alleged victim. Conclusion. IHOP KC has heard the demands to bring in a third party to investigate the organization in general, but this step is premature until IHOP KC can establish the credibility of the allegations and genuine intent of the complaint group. We hope that by sharing our preliminary findings regarding these allegations, you will understand why it is premature at this juncture to have a third party conduct a community-wide investigation. IHOP KC remains open to inviting a third party or even multiple third parties to examine these findings. It is our sincerest desire that the alleged anonymous Jane Does would come forward as soon as possible, either directly to IHOP KC's attorney via the complaint group or through their own legal representative, so that IHOP KC can then take the appropriate next steps. So I understand everything that's being said here. The only thing that I would say to this is that at this point, it looks like they are going to have to, there are going to need to have some victims to come out and to step into the light if, you know, they really want their voices to be heard. So there was a lot here, and I would just say that there was the part when it was talking about there was a where the incident that had happened, I guess 26 years ago, that was partial credibility, where Mr. Bickle may have committed a crime and it was predated before IHOP KC was founded. My question then would be, well, I mean, should IHOP had been founded if there was indeed a crime committed? Because right now it seems like I'm not sure what the statutes of limitations are in regards to, you know, pressing charges against this if it was indeed, in fact, a crime, which it says here that the details that were provided insinuated that Mr. Bickle may have committed a crime. So that right there is really what I have the problem with, because you can have all these other women that are being refuted because they haven't come forward, or in one way or another they're denying the claims, but that in and of itself alone is enough to really put the brakes on this. But so it looks like they're going to have to, the victims are going to have to come forward with the allegations of the complaint group, it says here, in order to open it up to inviting a third party to examine the findings. So it sounds they're asking the victims to come forward as soon as possible, either directly, which doesn't sound like they're asking them to come directly to IHOP KC's attorneys, which I could tell you right now that's not going to happen. They're going to have to get their own representation. There's no way anybody in their right mind would go to their attorneys at this point via the complaint group or through their own, well, it says here, okay, right, their own legal representative. Okay, so then IHOP can then take the next steps. So it seems like here that they're basically calling them to come forward. And it sounds like here too, the reason that Grace, they're saying the founder of Grace was the attorney representing representing one of the victims regarding the allegations. And so that was the other thing that my pastor sent me today as well, is right after he sent that information on the initial findings, the next thing that he sent was a text, and it says, also, this is why we cannot hire Grace. And it says, as stated above, IHOP KC did not retain its current attorney to conduct a community-wide investigation into the allegations, but to conduct a preliminary examination onto the allegations presented to us on October 24th. Nevertheless, we are not opposed to having an outside group come to KC to review our initial findings. However, Grace cannot be that third party because now they're representing one of the victims. So it says here, last week on November 9th, IHOP KC made multiple attempts to reach out to Grace to explore the possibility of having their investigators come to review the findings. Grace did not respond. The very next day, we learned that the founder of Grace is now the private attorney of the main alleged victim, whose claim is from 20 plus years ago. I don't really care if it was 20 plus years ago or not, because that one, it sounds like it's credible, and it says that it sounds like that he may have in fact indeed have committed a crime. So anyhow, that's just my thought on that one. But it continues to say, this attorney is also currently listed as a board member on Grace's website. This represents a clear conflict of interest for Grace and disqualifies the organization as a candidate to be an objective third party. Right. So that's pretty much up to date, current up to date on the information on the findings that were sent out today. So on the report on the initial findings on November 15th. So it's going to be interesting to see really how this plays out in the next couple of days or even months and weeks ahead. So anyhow, I received that information this morning from my pastor, who is the pastor at the International House of Prayer, Eastern Gate in New Jersey, in the New York City metro region. I think no matter how you put it, and this is what I texted my pastor too. I just said, I think no matter what happens at this point, the whole thing is a mess. And, he responded, unfortunately, that is true, but the Lord can make some great things out of our mess. And amen to that. I know that's right. So, we'll just have to continue to wait and see how this unfolds. But I wanted to come on and share that because that was the recent and current up-to-date reporting on the initial findings from November 15th, 2023. So let me know what you think. Let me know your comments, and we'll continue to wait and see how this continues to unfold. All right. And I will see you in the next video, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to keep you up to date on any current news that and information that comes out on this topic. All right, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.